Hello and good day. Hello and good day, y'all. I am riding and driving how I do on this beautiful, crisp, cold, bright, sunny morning that the Lord has provided. A new day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. And I am happy to come to you all today, you who are watching this video, and just talk to you and encourage you, especially in the Lord. Today I want to talk about being intentional about how we act, how we present ourselves today, because that affects our tomorrow, that affects our future. The things that we do today affect our future in some way. The things that we don't do today affect our future in some way. The decisions that we make and the decisions that we do not make, the things that we sit on. I know a lot of people, and I say a lot of people, but people that I've met in my life, that I've known in passing or know, or, are acquainted with, or family, and, just in, any type of relationship that you can think about. I've encountered quite a bit people who don't think that there's necessarily any consequence to not making a decision. And what I mean by that is if they're faced with, a couple of things that they need to do and they just don't make any decision, any one of the decisions. They just, sit it out and say, well, because I don't like any of that, or I don't want to do any of that, I'm not going to do anything and I'm going to be okay. I'm not going to choose any of that. But then, they end up being in a place, or they have or had end up being in a place of stagnancy, or it just, the consequences came because of a non-commit. Everything that we do, there is a consequence, because even what we may consider a non-choice, or I'm not going to choose anything, I'm just going to sit here and not make a choice about whatever it is, that is a choice, and there is a consequence to that. Let's see if I can give an example. Okay, just me, myself. Say, for instance, I'm a person and I don't particularly like the career field that I am in. Okay, so I can say, okay, there are a couple things that I can do. I can create a business. I can become a business owner and, work that thing out that way. Okay. I can go to school or back to school, depending on the person's situation, and get, educated in XYZ that I know, I've done the research and it pays a significant amount of money, per hour, salary, annually, way more than, what I am now. It has the potential to really upgrade my life and my family's life. That's another option. 3, I can go into, get some education for a trade that is going to give me a specific skill set that maybe I have researched, and I understand that there is a big need for it. A big need for it. And, you know, I would be in demand. Once I get this skill set, I can either work for someone else in their company or in a big company, or I can go, you know, the entrepreneurial route and work for myself. Now, those are 3 decisions that, you know, need to be made in order for me to change my life as far as what I'm doing to create more income, to upgrade myself financially, my financial status. If I say, I don't want to be bothered by that, I don't want to do any of that, I'm not going to choose anything. I'm not going to choose any one of those things. Well, guess what I did choose? I chose to remain where I am. And therefore, the consequences of remaining where I am and keep doing what I am doing, whatever that may be, is what will happen. Those are still consequences, because I still made a choice, even though I chose not to change or I chose not to move. Okay, now for some people that may be okay. If, you know, if a person is thinking about, okay, can I see myself here in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15, in 20 years? If a person decides that, hey, I'm fine with this is who I want to be, this is who I am, this is what I want to be doing, what I want to work in, or what have you, okay, cool. Keep doing what you're doing in the now, and it'll, you know, benefit you for the later in this vein, in this way that you're going. But if you want something different, you have to change now. Now, today is the time to change. I've been reading this book and I have gotten so much value from this book that I am reading. If I can get it out. The book is called The Compound Effect. And I'm trying to get it out if I can. Do I have my book? Yes, I do have my book. Sorry, you guys. Yes, it is called The Compound Effect. And it is, I'm getting ready to park, so I can. There we go. Parking. Okay. The Compound Effect, Jumpstart Your Income, Your Life, Your Success by Darren Hardy. And this is what the book looks like. I don't know if it's going to be backwards. It's probably going to be backwards. But because I have the front camera on. But it's called The Compound Effect. If you see, you know, the colors is white, black, and in red. The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And essentially what this book is saying is we need to start implementing small changes in our life right now. And those small changes every single day will, one, build better habits to who we want to be in the future. But in the future, we're going to, you know, curve upward towards whatever thing that it is that we're doing astronomically. And so they talk about, you know, something that you want to change, you need to track it. You know, whatever it is that you want to change, you need to start tracking it every day to see what it is that you're doing with that thing. say for instance, if it's something like, I want to, lose some weight. Okay, so I'm going to track the things that I'm eating in a little notebook, and I'm going to track, how much physical activity I have on the daily. And so you start tracking that, and it keeps you conscious of what you're doing that affects that thing that you want to see change in. If you see every day that, okay, I'm eating all these things that don't agree with my body, I'm drinking my calories, doing a lot of a big calorie intake from the things that are liquid in your body, you're like, okay, cool, these things are not conducive to where I want to be. And so once you start tracking that, you can start changing it, and then you see, okay, cool, I want to add some more, vegetables, what have you. I want to increase my protein uptake. As far as moving my body, okay, cool, I haven't done any workout in 4 days. I need to do, start off small. If you're out of shape, I need to do a 15-20 minute, just walk around my neighborhood, or go to a nice park and just, walk around there. And, a lot of times things that help me, if I'm feeling like, oh, I can't do this, I don't have time to do this, is I layer things. So it's like, okay, if I need to work out, I'll add in listening to my daily audio Bible. So I'm listening to the daily audio Bible, or listening to, the word, audio type while I'm working out. Because it's just like, okay, I want to be, doing something productive, but I also need to do this other thing that I really, really, really am not used to doing, or really, really, really don't want to do. So layer it up with something that is compatible, that you could feel like, okay, you could feel accomplished. But just back to the compound effect, just tracking what you do. Okay, so you track that. Okay, cool. I did my 20-minute walk. I started, listening to my Bible. Okay, can I do that tomorrow? Yes. May not be the same time. But that's okay. I'll still do it. And then you go back and you review your week, and you say, okay, yeah, I worked out, this week, or I moved my body more this week. 3 days. Okay, cool. Do I want to keep it to 3 days? Try to do 3 days next week, and just maybe increase the time by 5 minutes. Yes. It's not saying that you need to do something how we do. Be like, new year, new me. I'm about to, get into shape. I'm about to do everything. You throw all your good, what you like, good recipes and food and stuff out the window. Talking about something, you just gonna eat salads. Okay, like, you're not about to do that. Your body is not used to that. Probably hooked on sugar. So you talking about some no sugar at all. You're gonna be going through withdrawals and stuff like that. Like, that's silly. That's not gonna work. That's not sustainable. And most people can't do that. So it talks about doing a little bit at a time and tracking what you do with that thing that you need to change and that you want to change, tracking it so you can see, okay, well, let me change a little bit here. And those little nuggets of change will change your life astronomically. Not overnight, but over time. The person you are today, you start changing him or her today. That person that you want to be in 2 years will look totally different, but in a good way, or whatever way that you have started to cultivate, it'll look different at that time. We need to be doing now the things that we want to see. We need to start doing the things now, the things that we want to see in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Goal planning. That's a big thing. Like, how do you even remember all the things that you have in your heart, your dreams, all the things that you want to do, if you don't write it down? If you don't have a record of, this is a dream that I had, and it really resonated with me. It really felt good on the inside. You know, like sometimes things will come back to me and it'll be like, man, I haven't thought about that in forever, because life happens. We start to get busy. And if we don't incorporate those things and make those things a priority, they get pushed by the wayside. They get pushed by the wayside, and then we forget, kind of like out of sight, out of mind, because you have so many other things that you need to do, especially as an adult, a young adult. You know, you're trying to figure out things in the world. Older adult, you living, you know, you working, you probably taking care of people. So we need to have a record of the things that we want, have a record of our dreams, have a record of the things that God has expressed to us that he wants us to do. And then we need to be putting it into our day-to-day. Now, you can't fit everything in your day. I understand that. But if you have a couple of things, do a little bit, you know, here on Monday. Another thing, do a little bit here on Wednesday. Another thing, do a little bit here, you know, over the weekend. On Saturday, do, you know, 2 of your things. Add those things in on a regular basis, on a schedule. See it, make a big, I have like a big, like that, it's not poster board, but it's kind of like that paper that you have where you can write on a sheet, draw on a sheet or whatever, and rip it off, and it kind of like hangs on a little, you know, thing or whatever like that. I have one of those big papers and posters on my wall, and I make a calendar for each month. Write in what I need to do day to day. You know, write in bills, do my budget. Okay, you know, I want to do this, I want to do that. Who's coming into town? Okay, cool. Am I taking any trips? Okay, cool. All of that. It's all where I can see. And I go through, I look. If I miss something, I can see it. I don't have it highlighted or anything like that. And you know, I can go back, I can move it. Okay, cool. I wasn't able to do that on that day. I'll move it on this day. We need to be intentional about who we want to be. We need to do things that are conducive with who we want to be. We may not be that person today, but we need to be working to be that person, because if we don't work to be that person, we'll never be that person. Just a personal thing, somebody close to me, a young person, teenager, was asking me about getting a tattoo. And I advised this individual, I was just like, as far as what I know about what you want to do with your life, is that conducive to who you want to be later on? And I know people, you know, argue the point both, you know, oh, ain't nothing wrong with that or whatever like that. But I'm thinking about it spiritually, tattooing, and the reason behind it, and then also who this person is around that's influencing them to feel like, okay, I want this now. And so I was like, why? Are those people that, you know, you're talking to about this going where you want to go? Are they at where you want to go, or are they on your same level, which is you don't have anything, you don't have, you know, I said a pot to piss in, but you know, you don't have anything, and are y'all just sitting there talking about something, oh, I want this, and not thinking about the future ramifications of those things? Okay, you want one. Okay, what do you want? What do you want to put on your skin forever, and why? Okay, who are you? Because I know who you are. You are a child of the living God. Your body is a temple. You do not belong to you. Okay, that's what I've learned. I didn't know this, you know, prior to getting tattoos myself. And I explained to this individual, I said, I've been considering and researching getting mine removed, because I didn't understand the spiritual implications and the implications of the future and of consequences when I got my tattoos. Personally, for me, and this is one thing why I'm, you know, real big about, you know, really understanding the consequences, is because I didn't know that my skin will react badly to getting tattoos and to having that ink under my skin. My tattoos itch. I have one that keloid. So I have skin that is very reactive. I have a lot of allergies, and I didn't know at the time when I, started to get them. And so, I explained to this individual just what I was saying before or whatever like that. Like, you have to understand that these things have consequences, and we can't decide the consequences. So are you talking to people that want to be about this, that want to be where you're going, or that are where you're going? You need to start talking to people who are where you're going and see what they look like. Mind you, everybody who's on that level and doing those things or whatever don't look exactly the same, but I can bet you, and I won't bet you, but I can guarantee you that they look similar. They have a similar countenance. They have a similar respect about themselves, and certain things cause people to feel a certain way. And that's something that we cannot ignore. We cannot ignore. And now we're saying, okay, no, well, I'm not trying to live for everybody else. I understand. But my thing is this is kind of extreme, but if I get a face tattoo, I should not be upset that traditional people who I want to be my customer for my business, or I want to be my patient if I'm trying to become a doctor, if they look at me and say, I'm not cool with that. You don't look like any of my other doctors. Why do you have that on your face? Where are you coming from? Like life-wise, spirituality-wise. And, usually the people that I trust to do this for me, they haven't made those types of decisions. That's important. And as much as folks want to argue the point that it shouldn't matter, it does. It does. And we must start doing things that make sense. No, we're not saying we need to follow everybody who's trying to control us and this, that, and the third. But some things are just what they are. If you do not want to be looked at a certain way, especially if you already have things going against you in this life, and I'm not even going to get into that. You can, think of that what you will. But then you should not compound that with making decisions that are not going to be conducive to who you want to grow into and who you want to be. It is important for us to think about those things, because if we are not building the person that we want to be, we're going to be the same person that we are today whenever. 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, but we're going to be older. So we're going to be looking silly, because as time moves forward, we need to be moving forward. As time moves forward, we need to be growing. Nobody should be the same person a couple years down the line that they are today. That is silliness. It's silly. And as I like to say, we are not silly people. We are not silly people. So let us think about that, internalize that, sit with it, consult with the Lord about it. Who are we supposed to be? Who do we want to be in terms of progression and making ourselves better and making ourselves over in a way that helps us and helps us in our lives, and helps our families who may need to lean on us one day. Start changing into that person now. Consistency. Start with the little things, small changes, and be consistent about it. I was talking to my brother yesterday about consistency. Be consistent about the small changes in the direction of the place you want to go and the person that you want to be. And you can do it. All right, that is what I have for you on this video. I love you with the love of the Lord. Go forth, Spread love, spread joy, spread the word of God, the gospel of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. All right, until next time, bye.